How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map on Farming Simulator 25 for all platforms called Angela Whispering Hollow. And we're going to start with a description from the mod hub, and it reads, Angela Whispering Hollow, a fictional map based in Kentucky. The map is a good mixture of farming and forestry areas to keep you busy. Angela Whispering Hollow is dedicated to the memory of my sister. Some things on this map include 3 built farms, 1 placeable spot to build as you choose, various base game productions and sell points, 85 farm fields, 6 forestry areas. This is a North American map and is created by Mr. T-Bone 39 and Shantyboys and is 28.21 megabytes to download. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out by owning farmlands number 11, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 86. 11, 18, 19, 20, and 21 are all fields with no product in them. They're all laid out right here next to the main starting farm. And then 86 is the entirety of the kind of farm area up here in the northwest corner, plus all the kind of periphery area around the fields, which is mostly like forestry, trees, and stuff like that. Field prices around the map do vary, and you can see we do get a wider range of different sizes for our for this map. 40,900 for this one. You got 32,000 for this one. 62,000, 91,000, 96, 93, 129, 226, 97. We got 117 and 104. And that's kind of like a good spattering around there. Then we have fields such as this one here for 172, 54, 222, 210. Itty bitty one down here for 30. Over here we got one for 38. But then we also have these ones here, which these ones are quite a bit more expensive. One, because it contains a ton of land, but two, there's also some hidden farms on these lands as well. This one has a constructible area down here in this corner, and then this one here, same thing, has another farm up in the corner. So these ones with farms have a significantly higher value. The constructible one also has a significantly higher value, but again, that's all because of the amount of property that you're getting. We do start out with the animal pen. It is a chicken barn. We have contracts available on this map. We do start out with a production point, and it is a mushroom greenhouse, and there are other productions available on this map. And if we take a look at the statistics tab, there are collectibles on this map, 25 of them to be precise. And if we take a look at mods specific to this map, starting out on the buy menu, there's nothing here for mods and DLCs, so no mods specific to this map here. And then if we take a look under the build menu, starting under the buildings, there's nothing here, nothing under productions, nothing under animals, nothing under decorations, but under landscaping. If we scroll over to painting, you'll see we have a load of painting swatches available for us to utilize. Nothing for trees or plants. Now we'll go ahead and take a look around the map. Over here we have the shop trigger. And we're going to go ahead and purchase a vehicle to make our trek around, because we are quite a ways away from any of the vehicles we start with. So we'll start out with this, pan out. Over here we have the repair trigger. And one thing I forgot to do was fast forward time and get money into the map. So let me do that really fast. All right, now that that's all situated, we fast forward time. We added a bunch of money because we're going to need it. I'm going to start out by heading off to the left. And pull in here. We have the animal dealer right here in front of me. You can come to this location and purchase animals directly using this icon right here, or you can use the icon that's located at the same pens and pastures listed around the map. If you use this icon directly, though, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is going to take the animals from this location and deliver them to the pens and pastures you have placed around the map. Now you can save that money by bringing an animal trailer to this location, parking it within this kind of hazard mark area here, and then utilizing this icon. You will then be able to load animals into the animal trailer, and you'll be able to save that money. Now to give you a little bit of perspective, an adult cow will cost you an extra $100 per adult cow plus the base price. So if you're getting a whole bunch of cows or a whole bunch of animals, whatever it may be, you're going to be spending a lot more money than what you have to if you just take a little time and actually transport them yourself. Animal dealer sell point right here. Make our way around back. Manure buy point right here. Slurry buy point here. Back here. Oh. Did not give myself enough room there. Continuing around. We have the warehouse sell point right here. And over here in front of the door right there, we have the warehouse buy point. That's where you can buy all your palleted goods. Over here, we have an input for the production point here, with a wood cell trigger there. Output, right here. And this is the carpentry, 300,000 to purchase it. So now heading out of here. Heading down the road a little ways. Now, one thing you'll kind of take note of is that the main road here basically is a big cross. It just cuts the map into almost exact quarters. So you got this whole kind of main area here. Whoops, and I almost drove past. This area here, which is the rope maker. So you can purchase the rope maker for $300,000. We have our output here and our input around the back side right there. So from here, I'm going to start heading north, past the farmer's market, sell point right there. As we continue to head north. Now coming up here, by this little side road, we're going to take this and head out way out towards the northeastern corner of the map. Now, one thing to be careful of is that when you're coming around here, you got the bridge right here with a pretty big dip right there, and there's other locations very similar to that where it's kind of built on a bridge, and if you're going a little bit too fast, you might send yourself rocketing. I'll kind of point that one out later. But up ahead is farm number 2. So we're going to stop here and show where we've been and what we've seen up to this point. So we started out here at the shop area. We saw the shop trigger, repair trigger. We went around the corner to the animal dealer and animal dealer sell point, the manure buy point, and then the slurry buy point. Came around to the warehouse sell point, the warehouse buy point, and then we saw the carpentry. Came out and around over to this area here where we saw the rope maker, up to the farmer's market, and then came all the way up out to the eastern portion of the map to this area here. This is farmland number 87. It can be purchased for $664,536. We will go ahead and buy that, and you can see we get some pop-ups. So coming up to my left is a greenhouse right there. Now this is for rice saplings, as you can see. Continuing around, we do have a house right there, but there's no sleep trigger or wardrobe trigger there. Fuel tank right there, a bit of storage tucked away in here. We got a silo here and a cow barn right here in front of me. And we have room in this cow barn for 146 cows, 0 of them to start out with. Milk trigger here. We can load and blow straw in here. We can load our animals in right here. Feed goes in there. Now this is one of those where it has the TMR maker right here, so you can put in your hay, your straw, and your silage. And then around here, you can put in your mineral feed, and once an hour, it will fill up your animals, your cows, with TMR. Slurry output is right there. So now that's everything for this farm. We're going to head back out towards the main road. Cross the bridge. And now coming up here, make a right. Oops, hey. All right, now we'll make a left, and we'll follow this road out to our actual starting farm. Very similar to the last farm that we were at. This one has a really long driveway. I mean, really, each of them have a very long driveway. You have to cut through a whole bunch of these fields and get tucked up way out into each one of the corners before you actually get to the farm. So again, we are here at our starting farm, so let's take a look at our starting equipment. Let's go ahead and go into this screen here and go to vehicles. We start out with a Case 3020 Terraflex 25-foot header for a harvester. We've got the Case AxleFlow 7150 harvester, the Case Magnum 400 power drive. We got the Case Puma 260 CVX drive, the Case IH Steiger 715 quad track. Got the Horsch Tiger 8MT cultivator, the Kubota M77 front loader, the Kubota M8 201. We have a Kverneland Optima RS planter. We have the Lizard pickup, which we leased here. It's not part of your starting equipment. We have a Quickie Q6M front loader, and that's it. So let's go ahead and make our way around the map, or around the farm, I should say. Quite a bit of storage on this farm. And as you can see right here, we have a wardrobe trigger on the side of the house right over here. And on the front of the house, a sleep trigger right there. Directly in front of me is a hay loft. Fuel tank right there. Chicken barn right here with room for 20 chickens, and your feed goes here, your animals can go in here, and your eggs will spawn here. Over here we have a mushroom greenhouse. Open this up. As you can see, mushrooms are done right there, and a silo right in the center of the farm right there. So now, we need to head back out to the main road. As we continue to follow the long driveway. Make a left. Starting out over here, we have the grain mill. You can purchase the grain mill for $288,000. Our output is here, and our input is tucked away in that covered awning. You can see it way off in the distance over there. And then across the street, we have something very interesting right here. So to my left is the sawmill, but you can see none of the items pop up there. None of the triggers pop up. So if we take a look at the map and check out where we've been up to this point, we were here at farm number 2. We came up and across, actually here, let's go to this, up and across the street, tucked away way back here to main starting farm. We then went back out of the starting farm over to the grain mill, and then here across the street. But if we go to farmlands, you can see this area highlights, but it's also attached to this area here where the carpentry is. So both of these plots of land are together, and you can purchase them for farmland number 97 for $99,840. So we'll go ahead and do that. And you can see we now own the sawmill that pops up there, and we own the property that the carpentry sits on as well. So now we can come on over, because we own it, it's fully functional. We got everything we need. Our wood cell trigger here, input there, wood chips out is there. Let's see, manage the production site. So this is one of those where you can get 3 out of the 4 components that a sawmill can make. It's just missing the prefab walls, and outputs are all over here. And again, same thing. We need to look at the map one more time, because now we're on 91. Purchase this for $215,099. And you can see we get another pop-up, and it's the biogas plant. So we have an output for the digestate there, input for liquids there. No, I'm sorry. Output for digestate is also here. Input for liquids is here. Input for solids is here. And our managed trigger point right here. And as you can see, it's all the standard kind of biogas stuff that you can get. So now we need to head back to that big intersection and actually go past it down all the way to the southern portion of the map. So we're going to follow this road all the way due south. Now we're catching up to the main intersection here. There's the farmer's market to the right. Got the rope maker to the left. We just continue to follow this down. To this area right here. So again, we got to take a look at the map. We were up here at the sawmill and biogas plant. We then came directly south all the way to farmland number 98. Can purchase this for $43,880, and you get the pop-up that comes up, and it's the dairy, as you saw right there. So just a normal dairy. You can see that you can get all the standard stuff. And we got a output there and an input right over here. Now, right there beside me is the Grain Barge Terminal 2 cell point. A little bit down the road. In here, we need to go to the map one more time. Farmland number 131,560. And we have the pop-ups. And this is the sugar mill. So we got our output here, and input was in the front on the other side. We'll see it on the way out. Right there. And then over here, once again, take a look at the map. Farmland number 99 for $41,120. Buy that. And we have our inputs and output right here. And this is the potato processing plant. So now we need to head back to the main intersection yet again. So heading down the road, Now here's the main intersection. We're going to make a left. And now we follow this out a little ways. Now here, slow down, make a left. We're going to follow this down south. Now this is the bridge I was talking about. If you're rocking and rolling like I was almost doing there, you're going to go right into the gorge. So be careful. I almost learned the hard way a couple of times. All right, so back here is farm number 3. Get twisting and turning. Again, take a look at the map once again. We were out here where we saw the dairy, and then the grain barge terminal 2, then the sugar mill, and then the potato processing plant. We then came up to the main intersection, made a left, and then followed this road down here to farmland number 88. You can purchase this for $673,488. We'll go ahead and do that, and you see we get the pop-ups again. So, tucked away on this end, we have a sheep barn with room for 108 sheep, 0 to start, feed here, and wool/goat's milk if you do goats, right there. Silo directly in front of me. Fuel tank, now directly in front of me. And beehive. Bunch of them right over in the corner there with the honey spawn point. And now, head back out. Again, being careful at that bridge there. We are coming up to it. Coming out this way is not as big of a deal. It's the coming in. All right, so we'll go around the jam here, making a left. Here we have the tailor shop. You can purchase this for $240,000. Got our input there and output in the back over there. Over here, we have the bakery. Purchase this for $50,000. We have our output here and input here. Across the street over here is the lime station right here. Back here, we have the restaurant sell point right there. Back there, we have a gas station. And now tucked away way in the back over here, we have the spinnery. You can purchase this for $180,000. Input there and output over there. And now we head back out. In this direction, catch back up with the main road. We'll get around the jam. And back here we have the canning factory. We have the input right there, output right here, and you can purchase the canning factory over here for $330,000. And last point of interest, just down here, we have the oil mill. We have an output right here, purchase point, purchased for $240,000, and an input right over there. And that's it. That is everything here for Angela Whisper. You know what? What is this called again? It's Angela Whispering Farms, I believe. Hollow. Angela Whispering Hollow is what this one's called. And now it's time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I like this map. I really, really like this map. So the color palette, for the most part, is really good. When you're not on the main road area, like right here, it's really kind of toned down. But it's here on the main road where you get a lot of pops of colors and all different styles and colors and shades and all that stuff. It gets to be slightly cartoony, but once you're off of the main like four-way road, you're good to go. Like, you're really good, because then the road or the color palette really kind of tones down, and you're not left with a lot of these, you know, bright poppy flowers, but rather you're left with like the kind of toned down grass and kind of more neutral colors. Here, we'll pull out here and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, like the forestry areas are nice and toned down, same like pretty much everywhere off the main roads, and it's really good. The terrain is amazing. I love the terrain on here. You're getting the nice ebbs and flows. I've been in Kentucky. I've spent time in Kentucky, and it does remind me of specific parts of Kentucky that I've been in. And based on the description, this is not based on Kentucky, but it does. It says, you know, let me actually refer back to that really quickly, because I want to be fair to it. It says, specifically says, fictional map based in Kentucky. So it's based in it, not based on. But again, it just has that nice natural ebb and flow that I'm familiar with the parts of Kentucky that I've been in. Looks fantastic. I really, really love it. The kind of layout of the map too is very nice as well, because it's rather simple, because you got your north, south, east, west. That's your main road. It kind of, you know, meets in the middle of the map kind of thing. But then where things kind of get a bit more intense, quote unquote, is when you leave the beaten path. As soon as you leave the beaten path, it's going all over the place. I mean, it's really like taking off the beaten path. And it's nice. It's really nice, because you can have such a long adventure off the main road, and then once you hit it, like this huge undulation into this field. Look how deep that field is. The amount of power that you're going to need in your vehicles, you're going to have to think about what kind of vehicles you get. You're not going to be able to just get away with what would bare minimum work. You're going to need to put in some forethought and think, okay, well, I'm going to need some extra horsepower to be able to get up and down these hills. And if I don't have that horsepower, well, it's going to go 1 mile an hour at best, kind of thing. So it's one of those, you got to put some thought into it. But this is what I'm talking about with the color palette. You see how it really tones down off the main road, and once you're off the main road, it's really nice. And I love the kind of, you know, features of these kind of fissures that are in the ground. I think that's really cool as well. So all in all, what do I think of this map? 0 to 5 scale, I'd probably give this map a solid 4. Solid 4 out of 5. I think it's great. I think it's going to be good for single player. It's going to be good for multiplayer. If you have a bunch of buddies and each of you wants to take their own farm, have at it. And what I like about this map as well, so normally when it comes to maps that are designed like this, where you have the very big, wide open spaces, I really become hesitant about the map. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have full control of being able to buy the map, well, then these wide open spaces like this just almost feel empty. It has a real hard time for me personally to be able to kind of feel homey. But the fact that you purchase the land and you get all of the land, not just a little slice of it, not just, you know, up into the kind of perimeter of the kind of, you know, paved or stony area, like normally you get like out to here, and it would just kind of be following this little perimeter, and that's it. But no, you get this, plus you get all the perimeter of the kind of majority of the square here. So you get to do a lot of stuff. You don't get to actually do much in the ways of the fields because you don't own those yet. But this also means that you should be able to join these and make bigger fields as you kind of get going and grow throughout your gameplay. So you're going to be able to add decorations. You're going to be able to switch things around, move them around very easily. It's a nice flat farm, so it's going to be easy to build on. You're not going to have to do a ton of terraforming or anything like that. And the best part, let me go ahead and go like to the shop area here, because you can purchase shop, as you can see, farmland number 96 there. But go into the shop, it's huge and wide open. Like there's so much room in here for you to be able to do stuff. But again, it's really kind of empty. But because you can own this area, you can put things in here. You can dress it up and build it up however you want. So you've kind of got this kind of best of both worlds of having large, wide open areas, but being able to kind of comport and control them in such a way that you'd be able to build them up and actually kind of have like a good hybrid. So in the description, it specifically says that it'd be good for farming and forestry. Well, there's a third option in my opinion, and that is that kind of start from scratch. You're not starting from scratch per se, but that kind of, I want to build a map up and really make it into something that nobody else has. And this is a perfect example of that kind of map, to where you've got really, really, really good, well-developed bones to the map, but then at the same time, you're going to be able to purchase all the purchasable points, the production points, like this area here. And if you want to add deco, well, you can add like cars in the parking lot, or if you've got certain mods, you can add parking spaces, or you can add whatever the case may be. You can add trees, you can have plants, you can do whatever. And I was mentioning earlier, oh well, the color palette is a little bit overwhelming because of all the plants and stuff. Well, because you can own the land that it sits on, you can do something about that. Look at that. You can buy this periphery area here and you'll be able to cut that out. So even though that, yeah, this is kind of a bit much in the ways of color popping for me, I'd be able to come on here and I'd be able to do something about that. I'm not going to be handcuffed by the map. And that's what I like most all about it. I think it's fantastic. So you know what? I've kind of been talking myself up to it. And yeah, I really think a solid 4 for this one. I really like this map. So, all that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this map tour. And if you did, please show me about liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things. The algorithms enjoy you doing this as you engage with this channel, enjoy the content. That being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.